Hello, listeners. Real quick before we jump in, my name is Oscar. I'm the editor, and I just want to give a quick disclaimer. We don't encourage underage drinking in any way. If you are of age to drink, drink responsibly. And also, if you are of age and you want to play along with a drinking game today, because our topic is drinking games, feel free to do so and drink every time they say the word drink or a variation of that, like drunk or drinking. And thank you. Enjoy the podcast. Here we go.
Welcome, ladies and gents, to All Strength.
No wind.
I am Steve. My hashtag, my battle name, my whatever, Rebirth Flame.
And I am Eric. I have so many. We're doing LMX for Fortnite. No, I'm just kidding.
And well, you wanted to thank a couple people first, right?
Yeah, to start us off, I want to thank our listeners. We had a lot of positive feedback, constructive criticism. Thank you guys for listening in, and thank you guys for the feedback. We always appreciate that.
Cool. And we have our main topic for tonight, which is going to be beer pong, and a few other ones. So we're going to go into a few other drinking games. I guess our topic is drinking, right?
Yeah, most likely we're gonna be talking about drinking. Um, by the way, though, for the people that are not of age of drinking, please be careful if you do decide to drink. Don't drink and drive, obviously, and
You shouldn't drink while you're underage either. But we all
but
know it's fun.
hey, we started young, so. But the only difference is when we were young, when we would go to someone's house and drink, our parents would take away our keys and stuff, so we wouldn't be driving and we would
True.
sleep over. So just if you guys do drink and you're underage, just be responsible, guys.
Yeah, drink responsibly. A few other topics we have too, as well as movie drinking games and basically anything could be a drinking game. But we'll
Yeah.
talk about that later. But start off, beer pong, near and dear to our circle and then to our group, right?
Kobe and Shaq here.
Kobe and Shaq, the what is it called?
Just we're 17-time world champions in beer pong. But no need to brag here, but
the unstoppable duo, the 1-2 punch. But anyways, enough about us.
we lost once, but it was I don't know.
Lost to this one group that was it was beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck. They didn't know what they were doing. Just random. It was easy.
So, for anyone who doesn't know what beer pong is, which if you don't, you've probably been under a rock or like I don't know,
True.
ledge or something. It's a drinking game, obviously, which the players attempt to throw or hit table tennis balls into cups of beer. And their opponents are required to drink the contents of any cup in which a ball lands inside the cup.
Yeah.
I think I just said that. That was the definition, and I should have just copied that. Anything you want to put input about that so far?
Well, no. I mean, for the definition, no. But when it comes to rules, we have tons of different rules. Yeah,
That's coming up. That's true. And yeah, so Eric's actually going to give our house rules, which we think are the best rules, obviously, because we use them. And then we're going to talk about other rules that are coming up too. But before we get into that, I guess as our PSA for beer pong, we talk about its origins, right? Where it came from.
Yes. We started beer pong. Well, it came up as we used to do drinking. Well, I don't know if it's a drinking game. It was just kind of like a get together we would do weekly, where it was we call it beers around the world. We would drink or bring beers from different parts of the world, or just random ones that we never drank before, and we would all just drink them. Some of them were great, some of them were disgusting.
A lot of them are disgusting.
Yes, but at least we got a chance to try them all, or most of them, a lot of them. When we did that, what we would do is we would buy cheap beer, and by cheap beer I mean like Bud Light, Miller Lite once, which was death, and it was a fun night. But we would buy Bud Light, and which we call the throwaway beer, and that we would use for beer pong, which we just started playing when we do beers around the world as a second thing, and yeah, that's kind of how we were introduced to it.
Yeah, and then we always, like you said, the beers around the world. We actually had good beer to actually sip on, right?
Yeah, so it was good beer or like liquor, like whiskey or
That's right.
tequila would be on our side.
Because we're hardcore.
Fun nights.
So for other origins of beer pong other than ours, there's a couple of theories because obviously it's not like a scientific thing or something where it was like
Science.
a sport where it came up, you know. I mean, I guess you could call it a sport if you want to, but the things I was able to research was the main one that came up like everywhere is that it came from the school Dartmouth, and it was supposed to be sometime in the 1950s, and it was actually more of like the ping pong. Like I don't know if anyone wants Beer Fest or seen like the where they play with actual ping pong paddles. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had it more like that. Um,
Interesting.
if they had that, it'd be really hard nowadays. I don't think they'd be able to make anything.
I mean, I think it seems like it'd be fun, but I like the whole shooting
Yeah,
aspect. A little bit of basketball in there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like a little bit more skill. It's just it's a different one.
Yeah.
And I have another one too. Another origin story that says that beer pong originated at the school Bucknell around the 1970s, and this is where throw pong came from. So it was actually kind of just throwing the ball, the basketball ish type of thing, or baseball, I guess you could say too, if you want to. Um, so yeah, that was in the 70s for that one. And with that, both of them came up with this term, which I'm probably gonna butcher, but uh, Barut. It's Beirut, which is supposed to stand for beer pong, which also happens to be a Lebanese capital, I believe, somewhere.
The hell?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what they called. They said that in Bucknell, that's what they called beer pong. That's the original name.
Yeah, I'd just go with beer pong. It's a lot easier to say.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's in English too, so that's a lot better.
Yeah,
So
American.
I mean, I guess, I mean, if anything, I mean, most people could probably agree that this game came from fraternity type place
I mean,
area, a school.
you you would think so, because pretty much people in college play it. You know,
Yeah,
mostly college kids.
I mean, no one really knows, right? But I mean, that
It's
sounds like the
science, dude.
most.
Science.
It's science. It sounds like the closest thing that I thought I would be up to.
Yeah.
But having said that,
Going into the rules.
you go into the rules, and like I said, the best rules that we have, what we came up with. I'll let Eric take that away.
Yeah, we've been to a couple parties and different rules, and it's always when you go to a place that's playing beer pong, it's always good to ask for house rules. Everyone does have some sort of variation to the rules. The rules that we play by, um, like the big one that everyone really complains about is air balls. For us, is you drink. So if
What's
you
an airball?
airball,
Sorry, I guess
oh,
you're gonna say that.
an air ball is if you throw the ball and it hits nothing, doesn't hit the table, doesn't hit a cup, doesn't hit anything, it just goes, off the table. If you miss like that, that deserves a drink.
That's
And
what
you,
noobs do, by the way.
yes. So, that's one of our main rules. And then bounces, if you bounce the ball on the table, so it has to hit the table, not a cup. You bounce the ball, hits the table, and it bounces into your opponent's cup, then they have to drink two. If you get you and your partner, because we usually play with uh 2-on-2s. You do singles, but yeah, we won't get into that. 2-on-2s is a lot funner. If you do 2-on-2 and both balls go into the same cup, any cup that's touching that cup has to be drank by the opposing team.
Are you talking about Blitz?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, that's a big one, because that can pretty much finish a game real quick.
And it's happened a lot of times.
Yes.
And just to back up a little bit, so you play on any type of table. Usually, there's regulation tables that they have, quote unquote, where it's like what something like 10 foot like table.
I don't know.
I believe it's like 10 feet, and but usually people play on like regular long tables that could be anywhere from like 12 to 14. Um, you play on each side of the table, alongside the table. It's a pyramid. It's 4 cups, 3 cups, 2 cups, and then one
One.
cup at the end. Looks like a pyramid. And one rule that we have is we play 1 cup away from the table, right, Eric?
Yes, so you have to the last row has to be 1 cup away from the table, and that way it's even on both sides.
Some people don't do that, and in fact, some people also play with another row too. They play with an extra 5 on the end too. That's what I saw. And then as far as beer, we covered. We play with light beer,
Bud
usually
Light,
Bud Light,
Bud
for
Light,
good reason.
yes, we've tested a couple different ones. It was, I think, Miller Light. Um, I mean, we like to think we drink heavily, and the Miller Light, for whatever reason, almost all of us threw up. drinking it, and it was like a chain reaction. One of us did it, and then another. By the end of the night, there was like 6 of us that were throwing up.
Especially, I think if you're beginners, you really want to start with lighter beer like Bud Light. Because I've actually played with um Jack once, and Sarah can be my witness when it comes to that,
I
which is
don't know
my
who
wife.
Sarah is.
My wife. And she she saw me play that, and she saw me also die after. But I mean, that's
That's
more to test the point.
that's suicide pong, and we'll go over suicide pong.
It was less than a quarter, but still, like, it was enough to mess you up.
Yeah. We usually use like regular red cups,
Dixie
and
cups, yeah, like
yeah,
solo cups, I guess.
and we fill up to the first line in the bottom. It's kind of like a shot, I guess. Or a little bit over
It's
a
like a
shot.
quarter of the cup. It's about a
Yeah.
quarter of the cup.
We
It's
use
a shot
4 beers per. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 beers per side.
per side, yeah.
Sometimes we actually do 3 beers per side, so it'd be a 6-pack per game.
It depends how good we're feeling that night, right?
Yeah, depends on how much we're drinking. Um, Also back to the bounce. If you bounce and the other team reacts fast enough and they catch the ball, um, nothing happens to you. You know, they can catch the ball, they can swipe it out of the way, and it's pretty much a dead ball. So that's one of our rules. Another one of our rules is if you have a cup in your hand, like you're drinking whatever it is, uh, alcohol, as long as the ball can fit in there, because beer probably won't. It's a little tough to get it in there. But if you have a drink in your hand and the opposing team makes it into your cup, it's an automatic loss.
And we don't really have a name for that, but I like to think of it as like the ball of death,
Yeah.
because it's almost impossible to get that. And the reason why we also have air balls is for that reason, because you got to be penalized if you're shooting that off the table and try to get into someone's cup to win the game like that. And I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Have you seen it?
Once
Okay, I probably
I
wasn't
did
there.
it to Erica at one of our parties.
Oh, you know what? I remember that.
So you have to make sure that you keep. Well, first of all, you want to keep your drink off the table
Mm-hmm.
because that's the easiest way you're gonna lose. Because
Then you just have a free shot.
yeah, we're gonna aim for it, and you also like if you have it in your hand, kind of cover it or stay back.
It's true.
So yeah, I mean the whole airball thing is just kind of to avoid that, but yeah, you want to try to avoid that.
I know a lot of people don't play that, but I mean, like I said, we try to play something that makes the game go faster too, because it could take long. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, and then also if you shoot a ball and it kind of ricochets back, if you catch it before it falls off the table, you can do a trick shot or use your opposite hand.
And that's actually what I wanted to bring up next, which was trick shots. A trick shot could be, some people think bouncing could be a trick shot, which is again bouncing the ball, excuse me, on the table and then into a cup. It can be also shooting with your left hand or lefty, like as we say, or it could be behind the back, right? It could be off another object, but you have to make it, because if not, then you just airballed it.
Yeah.
Um,
But bounces don't work as double on trick shots. So if it bounces and it goes in, it doesn't count as two drinks.
exactly. The only trick shot, I guess you can say, that if you didn't get it back from an opponent when it rolls back on the table, would be the bounce shot, right?
Yeah.
Because that's always 2. But I think something we forgot to mention too, by the way, something that's really important is, how do we determine who goes first?
You got to shoot for takeout. So this one's really hard to do against me because a lot of people get lost in my eyes. But
Well, you gotta explain that a little bit. So when you're doing a shoot for takeout, you're supposed to look at your opponent's eyes, and you're supposed to try to shoot the ball while keeping your eyes on your opponent's eyes again. And that's what he's trying to say. You know, if you stare, I don't know if you guys ever met Eric, but if you stare into his eyes, usually it's like a vast ocean of emotion, and you'll get lost in it.
the blue sea, you're never gonna be found.
I mean, he doesn't have blue eyes; he has brown eyes, so deep brown thing, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why we win 99% of our games.
Pretty much. I wouldn't say that if you do take out first, you'll probably win, but if it's me and Eric, yeah, you'll probably lose. Yeah.
That's pretty much it for all our rules, right? I mean,
I think so. So I'm just gonna go over a couple more. So when it comes to takeout, there's also other ways that other people play it. Some people do rock paper scissors. Some will flip a coin. Some do Rochambeau, which are stupid. But I mean, there's a bunch that you can go through. Anything you could think of to settle, basically, who goes first in a game.
yeah.
But I like ours, the way that you do shoot for takeout, just because it requires that skill, I guess, of you shooting the ball, which is the whole game. So
It's a warm up. It's a warm up.
exactly, that's what I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, except sometimes you can go forever, but you know about that. Um, Drinking order. So if you're playing teams of two, sometimes you can play teams of one. But if there's two people on your team, which is again the most likely uh, scenario when it comes to playing this game, it's usually a round robin when you're drinking. So meaning, uh, let's say the ball goes in your side, you can either decide either you or your friend to drink first, and then you just switch off on and off when it comes to that. But if you play with air balls like that we do on our side, you're probably gonna get drunk if you airball a lot. I'm just saying, because if you airball, we're not doing round robin. You're gonna drink that because you effed up. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And if you're up next to drink, you're drinking also.
So sometimes you don't want to have that super drunk friend that doesn't want to play, but I don't know. Me and Eric, I guess we play better when we're drunk, right?
Superpowers. It gives me superpowers.
Exactly. um,
One thing though,
Go
one
ahead.
thing that I hate when we go to places that have their own rules and they do the hot streak.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
I mean that thing. I don't hate it because it's done against us. It's because sometimes when we're on fire, we don't miss, man.
Mm,
That ball would be with us the whole time.
I agree. So the hot streak is once you make your first shot, if you say out loud, warming up, um, if both you make it, you say warming up, I think one of you gets the ball back. If you make it both again, both of you say firing up, you both get the ball back. And then if you guys make it again, you're on fire and you go until you miss, right?
There's
varies, right?
different variations. I know there's one where you can be like a single person. If you keep making it, you keep getting the ball, even if your partner's missing.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know. I really don't like that.
I'm sure our audience
'Cause
has different ways of playing it too.
it would make a fast game.
True.
Usually, though, if well, when we play, if I tell Steve to make it into one, and then whatever he makes it in, I'm gonna follow it, and usually it works.
Yeah.
So it pretty much makes quick games when we do that.
That's a strategy, and I agree. I mean, don't give away our secrets. First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean that's that.
It's
Another
unstoppable.
thing too that Oscar brought up was the troll. I know you don't know much about it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know.
my friend Anthony, who I see his pictures on Instagram all the time. There's always someone under the table when they play beer pong. By the way, he challenged us. We'll talk about that later, but we need to do that. But
Simple.
I think I think if you do, I'm not sure again too much about it. I think it's either if you lose, you go on the table automatically, or if you attempt to do a rebuttal and you miss and lose, then you have to stay under the table for the rest of the next game, the whole
Wow.
game, which
Well,
sucks.
that brings up another point. Rebuttal. A rebuttal
Well, yeah, that's right. Thank
is
you.
the if you're on the last cup. Well, someone's on the last cup and they make it in. You can rebuttal that by making it in on their cup.
And I think that's a big thing we missed too. And I'm sorry we're going out of order here, but you're basically the whole and I know we said what the definition was, but once you throw your ball into all the cups and you land to the last one, like you were saying, um, if someone is to throw that ball away, then that's when it'll actually work. And I believe Oscar, are you asking us about blowing and fingering? We'll talk about that later, right? We'll talk.
Yeah, I forgot about that
Go
too.
ahead.
God
Tell
damn.
tell them about it.
So when we play, if the ball's spinning around in the cup, guys can finger the ball out. Girls would have to blow the ball out.
And that's our rule. I'm not sure if it's either one on each side, but it makes the most sense if you know what I
Yes.
mean. But yeah, there's so many rules when it comes to that. It's pretty crazy when it comes to that. And by the way, another thing with the rebuttal that I looked up is that we usually play. Let's say you have one cup on your side, and me and Eric are playing you, and we have 4 cups on our side, and you want to rebuttal. You would actually have to make it into each cup before we can reset it.
That's the usual one, but
Just
I
do
think
1 cup
no,
or per player.
we do all of them.
Depends how many we made. So what we do is if we make into your last cup, and let's say we keep on playing, and let's say Eric went second and he made it into the cup, your last cup again, then
You have to make both.
they have to make both. But if we only make one, let's say I only made it and Eric didn't make it at the end.
Impossible. I always make it.
I don't know, dude. I'm pretty good finisher sometimes.
I don't know. Remember that one game we played 1-on-1?
No?
The Kobe fadeaway? You had the Kobe's on. I signed your.
You saw my
autograph
shoes
your
out there?
Yeah.
No, I remember that. Anyways, yeah, so then once you do that, it's you can move on, or you can win the game basically from that point.
Yeah.
Do we miss anything? I think that's pretty much about it, right?
I think that's pretty much it.
Did we talk about slapping balls out of the way when you shoot it?
Well, I said the bouncing, so you can slap or just make sure you catch it, slap, whatever.
Okay, good. And then if it's not bouncing and you touch the ball, our rule is you have to drink because you just interfered with that ball going into the
I
cup.
forgot about that. I was
There's so many
important.
rules that you don't even think about until you start playing.
Yeah.
I guess the best thing we can say is that if you want to learn the rules, you got to play. Yeah. And I mean, you should play before you start drinking, maybe. I don't know.
Unless you're good when you're drunk.
All right. So, I mean, that's pretty much, I think, it for beer pong. Actually, I have a couple other things. I just want to talk about, I guess, how the popularity of beer pong, where it came to be, as far as for pop culture. So, I mean, we see movies about beer pong. So obviously, there's Beer Fest. It's a movie with the guys from Super Troopers and from, is that it? Super Troopers?
Yeah, Super Troopers.
Right? I said that
Yeah.
right? Okay, Super Troopers, and I don't think they made it in their movies, but it was Super Troopers, and it's basically these guys, they're playing through a tournament, and the last game out of all the drinking games they play is beer pong. Well, one of them, I guess.
Yeah.
One of the last ones. And that actually brings me to something else.
Das Boot.
The throwing pong, which is throwing with your hand the basketball. Yeah, das Boot.
Oh, we forgot.
Is that American?
No.
What?
One thing, sorry. We forgot a rule. Your elbow has to be behind the table. So whenever you throw, while we're playing, we pretty much always have like a ref looking at the lines. If your elbow goes over the table, it doesn't count.
So yeah, we have an unofficial ref that will pester and we'll ask them if our elbow was over the table. And it's our house rule because I don't think a lot of people play that, which I think they should because it makes the game a lot more fun. But if you're over it and you throw it, usually you forfeited your ball. Or sometimes you go over again.
Yeah.
But
Well,
a lot of people
depends.
don't play that.
Yeah, it depends. And one thing, sorry I didn't bring it up earlier. When it comes to the size of the table, I mean, it just depends on, how you guys want to play. We usually play with a standard, like those tables you see at parties. Those
Yeah,
packs
no,
of
but there's
tables.
actually supposed to be
there's-
official balls. I mean, excuse me, tables.
Yes, they sell them like at Hot Topic and stuff, and they're
Yeah.
like 10 foot. They're like skinny and stuff, which is cool. But I mean, come on, Clemente. We used to play
On his
on a
door,
door.
yeah.
It used to be like an old door that we would just put like a mantle on it and,
Yep.
and play it, or just bare it. It was fun.
So yeah, so you see these things in movies. Obviously now, I mean, if you've been to a bar, some of them usually they have
Beer pong
at
tournaments.
bars, yeah, big beer pong tournaments, and
I
they'll
remember the
even have
one.
it just for fun. What?
Remember the one that we did?
I was there, but I didn't play. I don't know why. I think I had to go home or something. But
Yeah, but that one was like shot cups. You literally had to swish to get those cups in, or to make the
yeah,
the
it
balls in.
was weird.
And
and
that
then-
long shot I made to win. Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah, I remember that. That was at DP's
Pizza
pub, right?
Club,
In
yeah.
La Habra.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like I was saying earlier, from what I was researching, I'm like, is it more of an American thing when it comes to beer pong? It may be the throwing one, maybe, but maybe like the paddle pong could be from other countries. But if you type in beer pong into Google right now, like it's all American.
Well, doesn't Beer Fest, isn't that in Germany?
Yeah, that's in Germany, but that's like it's still American movie.
No, I mean,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah, but
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, maybe like the audience, like, they'll probably tell us like, no, you're an idiot. Like maybe they have, beer pong in, I don't know, Czechs have it, Australia. I don't know. So I mean, from my research that I've done, I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems
Mainly.
like 99% more of American thing. Speaking of that, I mean, it's into our culture so deep that like you can go to stores and like you said, Hot Topic has that. Amazon
Well,
has a ton of stuff.
it's so popular that almost any store, even little liquor stores, have beer pong balls that they
Yeah,
sell
that's
in the beer
crazy.
section.
I'm like, it's been a while. How many times have we been to like Stater Brothers here in California, and we're going down there and we're just like, hey, get beer, and we're like, oh, we don't have beer pong balls, and we go to like the soda section or the beer section, and all of a sudden you just see them hanging on
Yeah,
the
I
little
mean it's
clips.
everywhere too. It's like that little liquor store down the street next to the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
It has them.
Well, they should. They're a drinking place, but like you wouldn't expect it. Like I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
like a family place, like something like that.
yeah.
Especially like in a grocery store. I mean, they do have a lot of stuff, but like specifically
In the beer
pong balls,
section,
and they're called beer pong balls, not tennis balls or what are they called? Pong balls, excuse me.
ping pong.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird.
but yeah, I mean that's not the only thing we play, right?
Yes. Probably the second most popular game that we played was King's Cup, or
hmm
play against King's Cup.
And which, by the way, there's other names for that. Excuse me, other names for that. I think there's
The
um
Goblet.
the Goblet, Keen's Round. There's a lot of names for it, but Keen's Cup I think is the most common one. But
You want me to go over the rules?
I'll let you go over the rules, but let me explain first what
Yeah.
it is. So you would have to deck out a fan of cards. Excuse me, fan out a deck of cards. Derp. And you put them face down, and you'd have an empty cup in the middle. We call it the grog. It's also called the King's Cup. That's the obvious name. And you just make sure that everyone who's gonna play sits around the table. They have some drink of sort, whatever they want.
Alcoholic.
Alcoholic drink. Thank you. Unless I mean, some people say they play with other things, but I mean that's disgusting.
Yes.
But you can
Why
play with any
play?
type of alcohol. You can play with beer, obviously. That's alcohol. And what you do is you all sit down. You take your turns and you draw a deck out of the excuse me a card out of the deck. I don't know what's wrong with me today. We're talking backwards. Yoda,
It's that one beer
speak
you had,
backwards,
dude.
you shall. And yeah, so you would all take turns, and then this is where the fun part comes in. Is that every time you draw a card, you have a rule. I'm gonna let Eric tell our rules because I think again
They're the best.
they're pretty optimal.
They're the
They're
best.
the best. Yeah, I guess that's what I want to say. It's the best.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into some other ones that you can talk about. Go ahead.
Yeah. So every card you flip, you have to do something. For example, the ace in our deck. If you flip an ace, you have to put your hand on the table. So pretty much we slam our hands on the table. Last one to put their hand on the table has to drink. And it depends on how you do it. But we usually just take a swig of whatever you're drinking. Two is you would
You
pick,
drink.
yeah, you would drink yourself, and again it's like a little swig. No, two is you would pick someone to drink.
Yeah, two. You drink.
Sorry, you confused me.
That's
there.
what I said. You drink,
Yes.
not me.
So you drink. So you pick someone to drink. That one gets funner, and I'll tell you guys why later. And then three is me. So three you would drink.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you yourself would drink. So if you drew that card, it's three me, which is you'd be talking about yourself that you drink, right?
Yeah. Four is whores, and the ladies at the table.
Four is girls.
Girls.
No, I'm just kidding. It's whores.
Yeah, we say whores, but whatever.
There's so many names. That's another thing that you can mention too. That people call it different things, and it could be the same thing. But
We call it because it rhymes.
yeah, it just flows off the tongue.
Yeah.
Four whores.
So four is whores. Five is
Waterfall.
waterfall.
You
Man,
forgot?
I'm forgetting, man. Five is waterfall, and that one's fun. So pretty much the person that flips the five starts like a chain reaction, and that person starts drinking. They can drink however long, and the person on their right has to keep drinking however long they are. Oh, the person on the left is. So you can start. Let's say Steve starts, and then me, and then someone next to me. If Steve stops drinking, I can keep drinking, and the person to the right of me has to keep drinking.
It's like an endless faucet, I guess.
Yeah.
But the faucet has, I guess, like things that have to pass through, which is us, right? The people.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you keep going that way.
Yeah, and you can't.
Which, by the way, is my least favorite rule.
It's fun, dude, especially when you play with Auxilius.
And the guy doesn't stop.
He doesn't stop, man.
Brandon
6 is dicks
or
so,
gents.
dicks.
Yeah, dicks.
So got all the guys drink. 7 is heaven, so you would have to point up to this guy.
And by the way, before we keep going on, we forgot to mention what happens if you fail to do any of these things.
No, I said
You said we had to drink?
yeah.
Well, I know you have to drink because 2 is you, 3 is me, but and 4 is horse. But in I guess this is new, right? It
Yeah,
just came up. 7 is heaven. If you are the last person,
you gotta drink.
you gotta drink it, right?
Yeah,
Okay, my
and
bad.
it's all right. I forgive you. Um, 8 is mate. So 8, you pick a person to drink whenever you drink. So when you do you, that's fun because let's say me and Steve are mated. We always mate. Um, if someone chooses Steve, Steve drinks and I drink.
Yeah, so if we have an 8 and Eric chooses me, if it chose me, I should say, and let's say
I
our friend
did.
Oscar draws a 2 and he chooses Eric, that means I would have to drink with Eric
Yeah,
because I'm his
and
mate.
usually when we play, because we're a bunch of assholes, we chain that all the eights. So usually if you pick one person, it chains to 4 different people
Yeah, so you
or
got up
3
to
different
4
people.
obviously because there's 4
Yeah,
8
4.
cards.
Yeah.
So let's say Eric chose me and then I chose someone else, and then that someone else I chose that last fourth person for the card, then that would be a chain reaction. So if someone, let's say Eric just wanted a drink, right? That would mean all 4 of us have to drink with him every time. Or if I wanted to drink, those other 2 people have to drink with me every time. So
Yeah,
it's
and it's every time, not just when a card comes
mm-hmm.
up. If I like, hey, you know what? I want to have a drink.
Maybe Eric's thirsty today.
Yeah.
Like he's always is. By the way, he's single. But anyways, continue with your with number 9, right? Rhyme.
Yes, 9 is rhyme, and we do rapper rhyme, so it doesn't have to like completely rhyme, but at least sound somewhat similar. So, you would have to you say a word, and the person to your right has to rhyme with that word. The person that can't rhyme with that word has to drink.
So when you say rhyme, we mean Shakespearean rhyme, correct?
Yes, of
So we
course.
can say Mario and radio.
Yes.
That's a shout out to Brandon. Luxilius.
So yeah, just as long as it's just one word, you don't have to do a whole sentence or a whole cipher.
The whole cipher.
You know,
Wow. Okay. And then so
10.
10 is category, so you can do like
Well, just the common ones like Pokemon, for example, and you keep saying Pokemon until someone can't say Pokemon. J is probably one of the funnest rules. You make a rule, and that can be anything.
so you can have the classic ones like putting the little man on the cup every time you drink. So you take them off your cup when you drink, you put them back on the rim of your cup. You also have ones where you can change your voice. Our favorite ones have been Batman and
Mickey Mouse, dude.
Mickey Mouse. That's
boy.
your favorite. And then we also have the black preacher man voice.
Oh,
I'd give you a taste, but I don't think you guys can handle
Southern
it.
preacher.
No. It's specifically a African American preacher from down south. I'm not joking.
So that I mean that one, like I said, it's any rule, and if people don't follow that rule, if they don't speak in a Mickey Mouse voice and a Batman voice, they have to drink every single time they break it.
Exactly. So if you break that rule, that means you're screwed. You're gonna get really drunk really
Yes,
quick.
the hardest one probably that we've done is probably the no laughing.
Oh yeah, no
Oh,
laughing
man.
rule. If you really want to be like a party buzz killer, then you can be the person that says, you know what, my rule is you can't laugh for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah.
And also, if you get another J, yeah, you have the option of or Jack, excuse me, you have the option of killing that rule and not having one. But usually it's when they come to the second one, right, or the third one.
Yeah, well, yes.
It will be 2 rules at a
You
time.
can have 2 rules at a time. When you get the third J, it cancels out the first J.
Yeah.
And the fourth J cancels out the second J.
Small note too. Some people actually switch the J and the ace. So just
Not
so you know.
us.
And the ace also can be some people touch the floor, which is sounds like a terrible thing when you're drinking, but I
Yes.
mean it can be. Q is question.
Question. So that one is fun also. You have to point at someone and ask them a question.
And it could be any question.
Any question. And they have to point at someone differently, no tag backs, and ask a different question. They cannot answer your question. If they answer your question, they have to drink.
And it can't be the same person, so you can't go back and forth. But I mean, just for fun, if me and Eric are playing, it'd be like, "Hey Eric, when's the last time you had sex?"
You know, or hey Steve, when the last time you had your period?
Or "Hey Eric, do you need to pee right now?" And the question, the questions that are like real like questions like anyone would ask are the ones that throw people off when it comes to that.
Yeah, so you want to try to throw people off with the question and try to make them answer it because then they'll lose.
And then we have Keen, which is obvious. Once you get the Keen cards, and the first one you pour, second, third, and fourth you also pour. But once you get to that fourth card, if you're the one who draws that, A lot of people say you lose. I say you win. I say you're
You're
the
a winner in my
king.
book.
All hail the king at that point.
You gotta
Right?
drink the grog, and the grog can be anything.
That's right.
Just try to stay away from White Russians in your grog.
Because that is disgusting.
It
Because
oh
it'll
god.
curdle and it'll
Oh.
taste disgusting. And Eric, you were the king that time. That was
Oh
awesome.
god, that was gross.
I found out the names for the other ones. It's supposed some of them just call it Keens. Some call it the Circle of Death. Some people call it Ring of Fire. I mean, they all sound like herpes names to me, but I don't know. So moving on then from Keen's Cup, Flip Cup. Not much to mention on that one, right? You
I
want to
don't
give a
really
little
like
description?
it. I don't really like it.
It's basically you put the what you can line up in a row on a table, about 4 to 5 people. You put the cup on the end of your table, and you just try to
Flip it up.
flip it up. Yeah.
For it to land straight. Yeah, so it has to be backwards. You flip it up, and it has to land straight up.
And I apologize. I forgot to mention what the grog was. The grog was where you pour in
No, you did.
all the Keen's cups. I'm not sure if I did or not, but you pour in all the alcohol that you have. That the random alcohol could be anything that you pour into the cup. And then at the end, like we said, when you're the winner or the loser, whatever you want to think about,
Yeah, drink
you
that
drink
mix.
a whole thing.
And it's mixed.
It's
Okay,
yeah.
so that can be
It
beer,
could be a White
whiskey.
Russian. It could be whiskey. It could be beer. It could be cider. I don't know if you're
And the person that pours it in can
pour as
But-
much as they want.
yes, they can fill the cup up, but we don't really
The
do
common
that.
courtesy is like
Yeah.
a quarter of the way.
Yeah.
A quarter of the cup. It shouldn't be that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, flip cup. Yeah, you just flip that over. It's a fun team game when it comes to that. And
Yeah, it's best. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
no problem.
It's best to play King's Cup with a variety of drinks like beer, whiskey. Mix it up. To have some fun. Don't just do all beer, because all beer, I mean, it may taste nasty.
That goes with all
you know.
drinking, right? You should mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Shake your head. Make sure you do
Some
a couple
people-
flips.
Some people play with a beer while they're drinking and have a shot of something on the side and
Yeah.
then throw the shot inside. So it's just whatever you prefer, but make it fun.
All drinking games. I mean, are at the point of drinking. So you're trying to get drunk. So don't. I mean, when it comes to that thinking, it's like if you're playing a drinking game like Keen's Cup, like just do it. Like
Yeah.
if you're there to have fun, right?
Don't
At the end of the
don't
day.
do water.
So Flip Cup. We talked about what it is. The reason why I looked up, it was invented. They said 1987 in New Jersey in a school, Hoboken. Is the reason they had played that game was because they had very little money, and I mean, who doesn't have Dixie cups, right? And you
Yeah.
could just flip them over. Quarters. That's a very common game actually around the world, apparently.
I've seen it played, but I don't know the rules, honestly.
Basically all you do, it's you grab like a handful of quarters and you try to get as many quarters as you can into a cup. And you'll usually go first. You play for like about a minute, and then the next person goes and they try to beat your score. And then whoever loses usually has to down that beer. But I mean, it's really nothing special. It's more of a, from what I read, it was a game for like people in Greece who had a lot of money that literally were just trying to throw it away and just were bored.
Eh.
But I mean, it's just a small game when it comes to that. Let's see, what else do we have? I think is there any other drinking games that you can think of?
I mean, drinking games. There's a ton. The beers around the world. When we did that, one little thing we would do. I don't know if it's a game. We would literally
Oh,
we would put our beer in the middle, and we would drink around the beer.
we toast.
We would toast, and then if you weren't paying attention, someone would, because we would, all the beers that we would drink are in the glass, in glasses.
Yeah, 12-ounce glass cup.
Well, containers.
12 containers, yeah.
Yeah. So if you hit the top
Glass bottle. That's the
bottle,
word.
I'm sorry. Oh, God. If you bang the top of a glass bottle with a beer, and if it has beer in it, like if it's
3/4
just
full or
open,
more. Yeah.
it would rush up to the top. So you would have to drink before it spilled. Spilling beer is a sin.
Exactly.
it's-
So you would have to wrap your lips around that bad boy and try to suck down as much of that foamy beer that you could, right?
Just never do that with Steve, because he likes to break the bottles.
Yeah, Restless, Edgar, he actually manned up, even though I broke his bottle once. and he drank some glass and some beer. It was pretty cool.
He was bleeding and all, but you know what? Let's not go into
He's still alive,
details.
right? He's still alive.
He's healthy.
He has slurred speech, but no big deal. No, I'm just kidding. No, he doesn't.
But yeah, that's. I mean, that's kind of like a game. If you're not paying attention, you know, it's just to mess with people.
Yeah, it's just so, like I said, it's anything could be a drinking game. So and you wanted to tell me, right, about the grip on that.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have a firm grip. The only problem
Edgar has
though-
a really firm grip on it. That's why I broke his bottle. But usually, most people grab the hand and then they do that kind of type of thing.
Yeah, you depends. If they're not really paying attention, you could tell they're not paying attention. You could tell when someone's really holding their beer. If you're gonna, go hard, make sure you like kind of support them a little bit.
Yeah.
So help them out. But yeah, that's one thing. What other drinking games have you played?
Can't think of much more. Well, I mean, I think my point to what I was actually gonna say before that is that almost any game could be a drinking game. Anything could be a drinking game.
Well,
One of my favorite shows
go ahead.
is How I Met Your Mother, and in that show, they actually have a drinking game out of watching a news reporter say I'm not sure if it's called a conundrum or something else, but
Phrase?
it's a thing that you keep saying over and over again,
Yeah.
which is so it's one of those things where you try to eliminate that when you do public speaking. But the story goes, if anyone see that show, the one of the persons actually makes up that game with he's a teacher. He makes that with his students, or he finds out that his students are doing this game and they're ditching his class, and he ends up telling the person who was actually that news reporter. So I guess to make it more coherent, Ted Mosby, the main guy character in that show, has his students. His students tell him about the game. His friend, whose name is Robin, is a news reporter, and she finds out. So they're thinking they're gonna play the game, pretty simple there. They're gonna just, play everything she says but which she says a lot, and they're gonna take like a shot, take a swig of beer. But since she finds out, she goes and rips him a new one and says but like a million times. She goes but literally just to say it, because her newscast is pretty much crap anyway. No one really watches it.
Yeah.
And that, I guess my whole point of that is that things like that you can.
Well, I forgot. We did video game drinking games.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, anything can be a drinking
Like
game.
if you die or something, like in Mario, like you have to
Mario
drink.
Kart, you lose
Mario
a balloon.
Kart. Oh no,
you gotta drink.
Yeah. So you could do that, and then I guess what our next topic was going to be about that too, was about movie drinking games, right?
Yes, movie drinking games are fun, especially when you watch those what are they called?
Bad movies.
Yeah, but what are they called?
The company.
Shoots and ladders, chess. Yes, there's there's chess that chess that has like
Well, wait, but
little
before you go
shots.
into that, what movies are you talking about?
Oh, what are they called? The oh man, the movies we used to watch.
Are you talking about the company? What I mean, be more
No,
specific.
like B class movies or what do they call them? Yeah,
The
B movies.
Yeah, so just bad movies.
Yeah, bad movies. And when you like, I mean, some of them are funny and you can enjoy them because they're so bad that they get funny, I guess. But you can. What we did before with those B movies to enjoy them even more is we would do some categories. So, for example, on a B movie, if you saw, for example, a sex scene, every sex scene you would drink, or if they said a word, because we would go over a quick little synopsis of what the movie's about, so we would try to guess like um what they would do or something they would do, something they would say, and we would drink every time that came up.
So yeah, you're going in the when it comes to the rules.
Title means oh
Oh,
yeah,
they say yeah. So Oscar just said another rule to the drinking game is if they say the title in the movie,
it's a
then
shot.
it's a shot, which probably only happens like once or twice. But
Well,
yeah. So
then-
you're talking about movies, B movies, but you can pick pretty much any movie, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen ones where like people pick Scarface, like every time they say a bad word.
Oh God,
Are
that's 262 times you gotta drink.
you
man.
serious?
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
That's how many times he
I was
says
like, I don't know,
fuck.
maybe you knew because I know you watched that movie a lot.
That's
so
that's how many times he says fuck.
oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. I think there's Mean Girls. I mean, I never watched that movie, but
Right.
I swear to God, I've
me
never seen that
neither.
movie. You watched that with your girlfriend. I'd never seen that movie, to be honest, but I know there was like how many times they say like fetch or something or
Yes.
something like that. So I mean, it could be pretty much any movie you want to. I mean, I guess that's something like one of maybe the hardest parts
Yeah,
if you want
but
to do it.
the whole point is picking a movie, and we did it with B movies just to enjoy them a little bit more. But
Because you can't watch that sober, pretty much.
yeah, they're rough. Some of them are rough. Some of them actually are pretty good. It just you can tell they're low budget.
Yeah, like some people did Hallmark movie channels, like literally Christmas movies. Or some people put, I don't know if you ever heard of too, like where they put a Christmas hat on the edge of their TV, like on both sides or just one side, and then when it lines up where someone actually has their head on there, like they'll drink to that
Oh
too,
God.
and you'll be surprised how much it happens too, from
But
what I've seen.
I mean, the whole point is like picking a movie. It could be like the Fast and Furious, anything you want, right?
Yeah.
And knowing a little bit of it, the synopsis of it or something, and choosing things they may say, may do in the movie, and then you drink to that.
Yeah, so basically you just have to make your rules, and then you gotta determine how strict you want to be, and then you want to make sure that
Wait, our rule.
what you do when you drink, when your rule is coming up or whatever it may be, and then
But remember,
just being
ours we
consistent.
would tally them up, and the person with the most has to drink or finish the drink.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
the least. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that could be a rule
The
too.
least.
Yeah, whoever has the rule that comes up the least that they don't drink to the most, then
They would take a shot of something that we pre-assigned.
basically if you suck at making a rule, you drink more.
Yeah, the whole point is to get people drinking.
Exactly.
A shot of tequila.
But the
Yeah.
thing is too is like you can be as fair or consistent as you want with these rules too, because I know like one was every time there's a bullet or a gunshot you had to drink, but I mean there was this one movie, a B movie, I don't think you were here for, Eric, but literally they would shoot like every couple of moments and it would be machine guns. I was like, dude, we don't have enough beer to play this. Like it'd be like brrrr. It's like, okay, it's done, dude. Like it's not possible.
Yeah, and don't tell people what movies you're gonna watch before they get there, because you can look at IMDb, read reviews and stuff, and they can kind of cheat. So just kind of pick something at random and do it. It's always fun when you do the random stuff, because it can go like the whole movie without doing it, and then when it comes up like at the end, it's hilarious. I mean,
And I think
just
it's
have
good
fun.
too, like, when you bring that up, it's like it's all for fun, and it's like it shouldn't be too serious,
Yeah,
and the rules should be really easy to remember. Like, hey, I'm seeing this part of the movie, now I should drink, right?
yeah,
It shouldn't be like, I don't know, does that count as a sex scene? It was just like, just either
yeah,
drink or don't.
yeah. Just make it fun. The whole point is to drink while having fun.
Exactly. Um, so I know we talked about bad movies, we talked about common movies. I mean, like we even talked about like Hallmark movies when it came to that. But I actually looked up this website. I think it's called ranker.com, something like that. And I looked up like a list of movies, and you could sort it by like male or female genre or people who watch. But they had some funny movies on there that I want to bring up. I don't think you've heard of them yet. But like for example, we
Nacho
already talked
Libre?
about Scarburn, Nacho Libre. Oh my god,
Scarface.
Scarface, and they have Wolf of Wall Street, and it's drink every time someone says the F word. That was actually a pretty bad movie. I don't know if you guys seen that one, but
Yes.
or if you, anytime you see a boob, anytime anyone snorts anything or does a drug, and then they have movies like let's see, Jurassic Park, the original one. Anytime anyone throws a switch, which is like all over the place. When you see the Jurassic Park logo, again, it's all over the place. When someone mentions outdated technology, like a CD-ROM or like a VHS or anything like that,
I didn't think of that one.
um, or anything gets eaten alive,
Oh.
which is only a couple times, maybe
But still,
maybe
like,
8 or 10
you-
times,
Yeah, you get a couple, and that's the whole thing. You want to get something that will actually get you to drink.
or like there's the one where The Hangover, anytime
movie.
Alan copies Phil, so Alan's the
Oh, God.
Zach Galifianakis and Phil is I forget his name, but
Cooper. What's
yeah, Bradley Cooper.
There you go.
Whenever you see a Vegas landmark or
Oh,
s-
God.
Stu-
Caesar actually is the Caesar actually.
Does Caesar live in this palace? Or anytime anyone mentions, basically anytime Stu gets hurt, like his tooth, or he had the sexual thing in Thailand. This goes
The
for all
tattoo in the face.
Yeah. Or if you see neon lights, or if someone gets hurt. It's just like, dude, you're gonna be smashed on these that I'm looking at here. Wedding Crashers are like, anytime they say Baba Ganoush, do you know how many times they say that in that movie?
No,
I'm pretty sure it's like 10
maybe not-
times.
I never
Anytime
paid
they mention
attention,
the
but I guess yeah.
You never noticed that? He calls Vince Vaughn Baba Ganoush like 4 times in the beginning. I don't know why he does that.
I love that movie though, man.
That's a
Classic.
classic movie. And they drink a lot in the movie, but didn't play any games.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I mean the beer. I mean the beer. The beer does go on. No, but the list goes on with the beer. Drinking games. I mean even like Beer Fest. That's a more near and dear movie when it comes to drinking. Anyone says Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Das Boot. Or if they call it Great Gam Gam a whore or a slut, or an agent. Wait, is it an agent takes over a new body? The fuck? Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. Whoops. Anything breaks, someone drinks a beer, or if anyone dies.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, there's like I said, you can make a drinking game almost out of anything. You can make a drinking game out of our podcast right now. Anytime we said drink, you should drink.
Yeah.
And
Or
if
every
you are
time we
gonna play, drink.
laugh.
Probably, but I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just trying to get the point across.
No, but yeah, you can make a drink game out of anything. I mean, we do LAN parties, at least once a year, and we do drinking games when we're drinking, or we just drink while we play.
Yeah, and like I think I'm not sure if I said it or not, but did I mention Brandon's motto when it comes to drinking games?
What?
Auxilius, our friend.
No.
You know what it is. Like playing the game of drink. He's just like, why play all these other games when you could just play the game of just regular drinking?
That's true.
It's a good point. Sometimes you just get bored of it, But I mean, it just depends on, I guess, the mood of the party, right? And what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah. But one thing before we sign off here, I recommend a couple of drinks, man.
I mean, you go ahead. I mean, I'm like
Honestly, well, beer.
beer.
What beer would you recommend?
Restless actually makes a few beers. I like one that has hibiscus in it. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Jamaica?
craft beers, I think, when it comes to that, there could be a bunch of names when it comes to that. I used to love Valiant Beer, which is no longer around. Backstreet Brewery, they have a raspberry beer. I'm more of a tardy, sour type of drinker when it comes to beer, but did you say I'm lying? Did you just say right now?
No.
But I mean, if you're looking at specific ones brands you could buy from,
He likes Angry Orchard.
Any
He
type
likes
of
those
store.
fruity drinks.
nah, I don't.
Don't lie.
I really don't like Angry Orchard anymore. I do like pear
Ah.
cider. I like Pineapple Ace cider. Those are pretty good. I mean, they don't. I mean,
They
apple
taste
cider.
good, I guess.
Apple cider literally tastes like apple cider, which I don't really
Yeah.
like anymore. And
Or
it's too
remember
tart.
that what's it called?
What?
Grandma's or grandpa's favorite cherry coke or something. What was it?
Oh yeah, it literally tastes like cherry coke. And
God.
does that count as a beer?
I
don't
mean,
know,
it's
it's
like
like
7%.
It reminds me like Smirnoff type of drink.
It's like 7%. It's pretty high alcohol content.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It just tastes like coke. It doesn't
I
taste
mean,
like
when
beer.
it comes to beers, I don't know. There's a lot of different beers depending on
I
what
mean,
feel
what
like.
we used to drink as when we were younger? Amberbach, Brahma beer,
Amber Bog was a huge. with us, yeah.
Coronitas are really good. I said it really white. Coronitas
Coronitas.
and tortillas. What else is there that we usually drink?
Newcastle.
Newcastle, yeah, Newcastle used to drink a lot. Me and Oscar Blatt over here used to drink that back in the day.
Oh, you-
Guinness is something that you can drink of. I mean, we're talking about just regular domestic beers here. I mean, it sounds like most people who drink actually beer are probably like, God, they like trash. But I mean,
yeah.
it just depends.
It depends on the mood, man.
Yeah.
There's still so many different.
I'm telling you, there's a
beers.
bunch of craft beers that we.
And when I go
know
to
of all the time,
Fridays-
we just don't drink it.
I think Michelob Ultra. Just any beer is pretty good,
Yeah, I
except
mean,
for Coors Light.
you can
and
drink
Miller Lite.
cocktails too. I mean, if you're into a lot of people don't like Jameson or Jack, but I mean that's one of my favorite go-tos. What is it? Buchanan's is good whiskey.
or Valentine's. We used to drink
Valentine's is really
Valentine's a
cheap.
lot.
Or Evan Williams, which is Jack Daniel's poorer brother. That's actually good stuff too. I mean,
The El Padrino, probably my favorite tequila. It tastes really
Exactly.
good. It's has a caramel taste to it. So you can actually take shots of it, and it doesn't really taste that bad.
yeah, the caramel taste though. I don't know. After a while, it gets kind of crazy. No, but it's good though.
I mean, if you drink it with squirt, I mean, it doesn't even taste like it.
con squirt,
Es squirt.
yeah, I mean,
Palomitas.
oh yeah, so I mean, it's just gonna be up to what you guys want.
Centenario. Yeah, that's good.
Centenario
Oh, there's
tequila.
where's that one that we had? Pueblo Viejo. That
Pueblo Viejo.
one's coming up. It's pretty good.
So basically, I think the moral of the story is you just gotta try those alcohols, kids. It's just
All of
don't be
them,
don't be afraid.
kids.
Move away from the Corona and the Pabst
Yeah, get away from that Pabst beer. Clemente.
Cemente. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It just depends when it comes to that. And then but we said, if you can, when it comes to beer pong, and if you're a lightweight, it comes to Keen's Cup hot stuff, light beer. That's the way to go.
Oh, one thing too, we mentioned it kind of a little bit. Suicide Pong. That pretty much is, instead of doing beer pong, you're putting alcohol, liquor. You're putting vodka,
Oh, is
random
that what they call it?
vodka,
Suicide pong?
tequila. Yeah, vodka, tequila, whiskey.
Oh,
Mix those up inside. But again, warning: if you play that, you're gonna get drunk.
and I forgot to mention too is things like chess and checkers.
Oh, we said chess.
Did we say chess? Well, I just want to bring up one story. So I played chess with Oscar's
the
sister.
standing where you played it.
Exactly. In the garage. But I thought I was pretty good at chess one time. And I played our friend Oscar's sister. Get her name. Not important. Liz. And we played with Kahlua shots, I think, and some other. I think it was just Kahlua. May have been the other one. What's the other?
Dude, I used to drink Kahlua as a kid.
It's disgusting. Anyways,
it's great, man, with milk.
I was like 20, I think 21. I must have been 21.
Try it before you knock it.
What?
Don't give me those
Kahlua and
faces.
what?
Kahlua with milk. Honestly, it's really good.
You're disgusting.
No, dude, dude.
Anyways, the
Try
only
it.
reason I don't like it is because I got my butt freaking destroyed in Chespire, and not only did I drink my own every time I lost, but at the end she was like, "Well, you lost, now you got to drink all these too."
Wow.
And I'm telling you,
I
like
remember that
lightweight
day.
21, I got messed up.
I remember that day.
Why? What happened that day?
Great day, Steve.
Do we want to mention this?
Nah, you know what? We'll keep it up there.
Tell me later.
Oh, you will know. You
Oh.
will know.
Dear God. Wait, it wasn't a cucumber a pickle, right?
Anyways, we're out of time now, guys.
So just I'm gonna mention two places where you can find us, just in case you want to get some more of me and Eric, which I wouldn't blame you if you did. So you can find us on SoundCloud, which is probably where you're listening to us, at the Unexplorers. You can also find us at Facebook at the Unexplorers.
You can find us on Instagram at _unexplorers and Twitter at _unexplorers.
Yeah. and
No,
then-
I'm sorry. No underscore at our Twitter. So it's just at _unexplorers.
Yeah. So Twitter at the Unexplorers.
My personal Instagram is
No one cares, because you want to go to at Rebirth Flame, because that is my
Whoa,
Instagram.
whoa, whoa. Hey, let's.
And
And mine's at Scarburn88. Yeah, on Instagram. My Twitch, I've been twitching or streaming.
He's been twitching. No, he said it.
Yeah, I had to go to the doctor for it. No, I've been streaming on Twitch, and that's twitch.tv/Supermex.
Twitch.tv / What?
/ yeah, sorry. At Supermex, and I do Fortnite, World of Warcraft, and sometimes just random games.
Yeah, no one cares about that. Anyways, if you want to hear a sexy voice, you can also go to
Here,
Twitch.
you can actually see me have a
Twitch.
camera.
I'm gonna get one. Twitch.tv / Rebirth Flame. I'm just kidding. We stream a lot together, because we're pro at playing some video
And we
games.
stream each other when we're offline. So.
Yeah, so if you go to either one of ours, you should be able to see that. If you're into that type of thing, video games. I mean, who isn't, right?
Yeah.
Losers. Anyways.
But anyways, thank you guys for joining us today. Again, we would welcome feedback. Anything that helps us get better, please let us know.
And then basically that it. And then like I said, I just want to give a shout out to all your moms. I mean, I want to give a shout out to actually Eva. She knows who she is. Shout out with a couple of things, suggestions when it came to that. Also your friends.
I want to
from your
shout
guild.
out my girl.
Your girl. Your girl.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna sign off now. Again,
one thing, I'm sorry. We're gonna try to get a podcast up bi-weekly for now. So just keep an ear out for us.
yeah, and we appreciate you guys listening to us. Again, like we said earlier, it's much appreciated. And I just want to mention again, my name is Steve. Again, you can find me at Rebirth Flame on almost everything.
And Eric.
And I just want to let you know that again, we love you, and you've been listening to All Strength.
No int.
And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
Peace out.
Love you.